Navarre shall be the wonder of the world. Our court shall be a little academe, still and contemplative in living art. You three, Berowne, Dumaine, and Longaville, have sworn for 3 years' term to live with me, my fellow scholars, and to keep those statutes that are recorded in this schedule here. Your oaths are passed, and now subscribe your names, that his own hand may strike his honour down that violates the smallest branch herein. If you are armed to do, or sworn to do, subscribe to your deep oath, and keep it too.
I am resolved. 'Tis but a 3 years fast. The mind shall banquet, though the body pine. Fat paunches have lean pates, and dainty bits make rich the ribs, but bankrupt the wits.
My loving lord, Dumaine is mortified. The grosser manner of the world's delights he throws upon the gross world's baser slaves. To love, to wealth, to pomp, I pine and die with all these living in philosophy.
I can but say their protestation over. So much, dear liege, I have already sworn. That is to live and study here 3 years, but there are other strict observances, as not to see a woman in that time, which I hope well is not enrolled there, and 1 day in a week to touch no food, and but 1 meal on every day besides, the which I hope is not enrolled there, and then to sleep but 3 hours in the night, and not be seen to wink of all the day. When I was wont to think no harm all night, and make a dark night too of half the day, the which I hope is not enrolled there. Why, these are barren tasks, too hard to keep. Not to see ladies, study, fast, not sleep.
Your oath is passed to pass away from me.
Let me say no, my liege, and if you please, I only swore to study with your grace and stay here in your court for 3 years' space.
You swore to that, Berowne, and to the rest.
By yea and nay, sir, then I swore in jest. What is the aim of study? Let me know.
Aye, that to know which else we should not know.
Things hidden barred, you mean, from common sense?
Aye, that is study's godlike recompense.
Come on, then. I will swear to study so. To know the thing I am forbid to know. As thus to study where I well may dine, when I to feast expressly am forbid. Or study where to find some mistress fine, when mistresses from common sense are hid. If study's aim be thus, and this be so, sign me to that, and I'll never say no.
These be the stops that hinder study quite, and train our intellects to vain delights.
Why, all delights are vain. But that most vain, which with pain purchased doth imperit pain, as painfully to pore upon a book to seek the light of truth, while truth the while doth falsely blind the eyesight of his look. Light seeking light doth light of light beguile. So, ere you find where light in darkness lies, your light grows dark by losing of your eyes. Study me how to please the eye indeed, by fixing it upon a fairer eye, who dazzling so that light shall be his heed, and give him light that it was guided by. Study is like the heaven's glorious sun, which will not be deep searched with saucy looks, small of continual plodders, ever one save base authority from others' books. These earthly godfathers of heaven's lights that give a name to every fixed star have no more profit from their shining lights than those who walk and what not what they are. Too much to know is to know naught but fame, and every godfather can give a name.
How well he's read to reason against reading.
Proceeded well to end all good proceeding.
He weeds the corn and still lets grow the weeding.
The spring is near when green geese are a-breeding.
How follows that?
A fit to this place and time.
In reason, nothing.
Something then in rhyme.
Berowne is like an envious sleeping frost that bites the firstborn infants of the spring.
Well, say I am. Why should proud summer boast before the birds have any cause to sing? Why should I delight in any abortive birth? At Christmas, I no more desire a rose than wish us snow in May's newfangled shows. But each thing, like that in its season, grows. Study's aim be thus, and this be so. Subscribe me to this, and I wouldn't dare say no.
How well this yielding rescues thee from shame.
Item. That no woman shall come within 1 mile of my court. Hath this been proclaimed?
4 days ago.
Let's see the penalty. On pain of losing her tongue. Who devised this penalty?
Marry, that did I.
Sweet Lord, and why?
To fright them hence with that dread penalty, a dangerous law against gentility. Item. If any man be seen to talk with a woman within the term of 3 years, he shall endure such public shame as the rest of the court could possibly devise.
This article, my liege, yourself must break. For as you know, here comes in embassy the French king's daughter with yourself to speak. A grace of complete grace and majesty, about surrender up of Aquitaine to her decrepit, sick, and bed-rid father. So, this article was made in vain, or vainly comes the admired princess hither.
What say you, lords? Why, this was quite forgot.
So, study evermore is overshot. While it doth study to have what it would, it doth forget to do the thing it should. And when it hath the thing it hunted most, 'tis one as towns with fire, so won, so lost.
Well, we must perforce dispense with this decree. She must lie here of mere necessity.
Necessity will have us all forsworn 3,000 times within this 3 years' space. For every man of his effects is born, not by might mastered, but by special grace. If this be so, let me read the same, and to the strictest decrees I'll write my name. But I believe, although I seem so loath, I am the last that will last keep his oath. But is there no quick recreation granted?
Aye, that there is. Our court, you know, is haunted with a refined traveller of Spain, a man in all the world's new fashion planted, that hath a mint of phrases in his brain. Man of compliments, whom right and wrong have chosen as umpire of their mutiny. This child of fancy that Armado hight. For interim to our study shall relate the sad debate of many a man of Spain lost in the world's debate. Now, how you delight, my lords, I know not I, but I protest I love to hear him lie, and I will use him for my minstrelsy.
Armado is a most illustrious wight, a man of fire, new words, fashion's own knight.
Costard the swain, and he shall be your sport. And so to study 3 years is but short.
Which is the Duke's own person?
This fellow, what wouldst?
I myself reprehend his own person, for I am his Grace's Starbearer, and I would see his own person in flesh and blood.
This is he.
Signor! Arm commends ye. There's villainy abroad. This letter will tell you more.
Sir, the contents thereof are as touching me.
A letter from the magnificent Armado.
Oh, how low soever the matter, I hope in God for high words.
High hopes for low heaven, God's grant us patience.
Or to hear, or to forbear hearing.
To hear meekly, sir, or to laugh moderately, or to forbear both.
Well, sir, be it as the style shall help us to climb in the merriment.
The matter is to me, sir, as concerning Jaquenetta. The manner of it is, I was taken with the manner.
In what manner?
In manner and form following, sir, all those three. I was seen with her in the manor house, sitting with her upon the form, and taken following her into the park, which put together is in manner and form following. Now, sir, for the manner, it is the manner of a man to speak to a woman. For the form, in some form.
And for the following?
As it shall follow in my correction, and God defend the right.
Will you hear this letter with attention?
As we would hear an oracle.
Such is the simplicity of men to hearken after the flesh.
Great deputy, the Welkin's vicegerent, and sole dominator of Navarre, my soul's earth's god and body's fostering patron.
Not a word of Costard yet.
So it is.
It may be so, but if he say it is so, he is in telling true.
Peace!
Be to me and every man that dares not fight.
No words!
Of other men's secrets, I beseech you.
So it is. Besieged with sable-coloured melancholy, I did commend the black oppressing humour to the most wholesome physic of thy health-giving air, and as I am a gentleman, betook myself to walk. The time when, about the 6th hour, when beasts most graze, birds best peck, and men sit down to that nourishment which is called supper. So much for the time when. Now for the ground which I mean I walked upon. It is It is yclept thy park. Then for the place where, I mean, I did encounter that obscene and most preposterous event that draweth from my snow-white pen the ebon-coloured ink, which here thou viewest, beholdest, surveyest, or seest. But to the place where it standeth north-north-east, and by east from the west corner of thy curious knotted garden. There did I see that low-spirited swain, that base minnow of thy mirth,
Me?
that unlettered, small-knowing soul,
Me?
that shallow vassal,
Still me?
which, as I remember, hight Costard,
Oh, me.
sorted and consorted, contrary to thy established proclaimed edict and continent canon, wherewith, but with this I passion to say wherewith,
With a wench.
with a child of our grandmother Eve, a female, or for thy more sweet understanding, a woman. Him I, as my ever-esteemed duty pricks me on, have sent to thee to receive the meed of punishment by thy sweet grace's officer, Anthony Dull, a man of good repute, carriage, beauty, and estimation.
Me, ink shall please you. I am Anthony Dull.
For Jaquenetta, so is the weaker vessel called, which I apprehended with the aforesaid swain, I keep her as a vessel of thy law's fury, and shall, at the least of thy sweet notice, bring her to trial. Thine, in all compliments of devoted, heart-burning heat of duty, Don Adriano de Armado.
Well, it's not as well as I hoped for, but it's the best that I ever heard.
I am the best for the worst. Sirrah, what say you to this?
Sir, I confess the wench.
Did you hear the proclamation?
I do confess much of the hearing it, but little of the marking of it.
It was proclaimed a year's imprisonment to be taken with a wench.
I was taken with none, sir. I was taken with a damsel.
Well, it was proclaimed damsel.
This was no damsel neither, sir. She was a virgin.
It is so very too, for it was proclaimed virgin.
If it were, then I deny her virginity. I was taken with a maid.
This maid will not serve your turn, sir.
This maid will serve my turn, sir.
Sir, I will pronounce your sentence. You shall fast a week with bran and water.
I had rather pray a month with mutton and porridge.
And Don Armado shall be your keeper. My Lord Berowne, see him delivered o'er. And go we, lords, to put in practice that which each to other have so strongly sworn.
I'll lay my head to any good man's hat. These oaths and laws will prove an idle scorn. Come on, Sirrah.
I suffer for the truth, sir. For true it is, I was taken with Jaquenetta, and Jaquenetta is a true girl, and therefore welcome the sour cup of prosperity. Affliction may one day smile again, and until then sit down sorrow.
Boy, what sign is it when a man of great spirit grows melancholy?
A great sign, sir, that he will look sad.
Why? Sadness is one and the self-same thing, dear imp.
No, oh Lord, sir, no.
How canst thou part sadness and melancholy?
By a familiar demonstration of the working, my tough signor.
Why tough signor? Why tough signor?
Why tender juvenile? Huh? Why tender juvenile?
I spoke it, tender juvenile, as a congruent apatheton appertaining to thy young days, which we may nominate tender.
And I, tough signor, as an appurtenant title to thy old time, which we may name tough.
Pretty and apt.
How mean you, sir? I pretty and my saying apt? Or I apt and my saying pretty?
Thou pretty because little.
Little pretty because little. Wherefore apt?
Therefore apt because quick.
Speak you this in my praise, master?
I do say thou art quick in answers, thou heat'st my blood.
I am answered, sir.
I have promised to study 3 years with the Duke.
You may do it in an hour, sir.
Impossible.
Why, sir, is this such a piece of study?
I will hereupon confess, I am in love. And as it is base for a soldier to love, so am I in love with a base wench. If drawing my sword against the affection would deliver me from the reprobate thought of it, I would take desire prisoner and ransom him to any French courtier for a new devised courtesy. I think scorn to sigh. Methinks I should outswear Cupid. Comfort me, boy. What great men have been in love?
Hercules, master.
Most sweet Hercules. More authority, dear boy, name more. And sweet, my child, let them be men of good repute and carriage.
Samson, master. He was a man of good carriage, great carriage, for he carried the town gates on his back like a porter, and he was in love.
Oh, well knit Samson, strong jointed Samson. I do excel thee in my rapier, as much as thou didst me in carrying gates. Oh, I am in love too. Who was Samson's love, my dear Moth?
A woman, master?
Is there not a ballad, boy, of the king and the beggar?
The world was very guilty of such a ballad some 3 ages since, but now I think 'tis not to be found. For if it were, it would neither serve for the writing nor the tune.
I will have that subject newly writ o'er, that I may example my digression with some mighty president. Boy, I do love that country girl that I took in the park with the rational hind, Costard. She deserves well.
To be whipped, and yet a better love than my master.
Sing, boy! My spirit grows heavy in love.
And that's a great marvel, loving a light wench.
I say sing!
Forbear till this company be past.
Sir, 'tis the Duke's pleasure that you keep Costard safe, and let him take no delight nor no penance, but he is to fast 3 days a week. As for the damsel, I must keep her here at the park. She is allowed for the day woman. Fare ye well.
Why do you betray myself with blushing? Maid!
Man,
I will visit thee at the lodge.
that's hereby.
I know where it is situate.
Oh, Lord, how wise you are.
I will tell thee wonders.
With that face.
I love thee.
Oh, so I heard you say.
And so farewell.
Fair weather after you.
Come, Jaquenetta, away.
Villain! Thou shalt fast for thy offences ere thou be pardoned.
Well, sir, I hope when I do it, I shall do it on a full stomach.
Thou shalt be heavily punished.
I am more bound to you than your fellows, for they are but lightly rewarded.
Take away this villain, shut him up.
Come, you transgressing slave, away.
Let me not be pent up, sir. I will fast being loose.
No, sir, thou wert fast and loose. Thou shalt to prison.
Well, if ever I do see the merry days of desolation that I have seen, some shall see.
What shall some see?
Nay, nothing must them off, but what they look upon. It is not for prisoners to be silent in their words, and therefore I will say nothing. I thank God have as little patience as another man, and therefore I can be quiet.
I do affect the very ground which is base, where her shoe, which is baser, guided by her foot, which is basest, doth tread. Oh, I shall be forsworn, which is a great argument of falsehood, if I love. And how can that be true love, which is falsely attempted? Love is a familiar. Love is a devil. There is no evil angel but love. Yet, Samson was so tempted, and he had excellent strength. Yet was Solomon so seduced, and he had a very good wit. Cupid's butt shaft is too hard for Hercules' club, and therefore too much odds for a Spaniard's rapier. The first and second cause will not serve my turn. The Pasado he respects not, the Duello he regards not. If being in love, I should wonder at marvel. It is Cupid's disgrace to be called boy, yet it is his glory to subdue men. Adieu, valor, rust, rapier, be still, drum, for thy manager is in love. Yea, he loveth. Assist me, some extemporal god of rhyme, for I'm sure I shall turn sonnet. Devise wit, write pen, for I am for whole volumes in folio.
Now, madam, summon up your dearest spirits. Consider who the king your father sends, to whom he sends, and what's his embassy. Yourself held precious in the world's esteem, to parley with the sole inheritor of all perfections that a man may owe. Matchless Navarre, the plea of no less weight than Aquitaine, a dowry for a queen. Be now as prodigal of all dear grace as nature was in making graces dear when she did starve the general world beside, and prodigally gave them all to you.
Good Lord, Boyette, my beauty, though but mean, needs not the painted flourish of your praise. I am less proud to hear you tell my worth, and you much willing to be counted wise in spending your wit in the praise of mine. But now, to task the tasker. You are not ignorant, all-telling fame doth noise abroad. Navarre hath made a vow. Till painful study shall outwear 3 years, no woman may approach his silent court. Therefore to seemeth it a needful cause before we enter his forbidden gates to know his pleasure. And in that behalf bold of your worthiness, we single you as our best moving fair solicitor. Tell him, the daughter of the King of France, on serious business, craving quick dispatch, importunes personal conference with his grace. Haste! Signify so much, while we attend like humble-visaged suitors his high will.
Proud of employment, willingly I go.
All pride is willing pride, and yours is so. Here were the votaries, my loving lords, the devout fellows with this virtuous duke.
Longaville is one.
Know you the man?
I know him, madam, at a marriage feast between Lord Perigord and the beauteous heir of Jacques Fossonbridge solemnized. In Normandy saw I this Longaville. He is a man of sovereign parts esteemed, well fitted in arts, glorious in arms. Nothing becomes him ill that he would well. The only soil of his fair virtue's gloss, if virtue's gloss will stain with any soil, is a sharp wit matched with too blunt a will, whose edge hath power to cut, whose will still wills it should none spare that come within grasp.
Some merry mocking lord belike is so?
They say so most that most his humours know.
Such short-lived wits do wither as they grow. Who are the rest?
The young Dumaine, a well-accomplished youth, of all virtue loved for virtue loved, most power to do most harm, least knowing ill, for he hath wit to make an ill shape good,
and shaped to embrace, though he had no wit. I saw him at the Duke Lanzo's once, and much too little of that good I saw is my report of his great worthiness.
Another of these students at that time was there with him, as I've heard a truth. Berowne, they call him, but a merrier man within the limit of becoming mirth. I never spent an hour's talk with all. His eye begets occasion for his wit, for every object that the one doth catch the other turns to a mirth-moving jest, which his fair tongue, conceits expositor, delivers with such apt and gracious words that older ears play truant at his tales and younger hearings are quite ravished, so sweet and voluble is his discourse.
God bless my ladies. Are they all in love? That everyone her own hath garnished with such bedecking ornaments of praise.
Here comes Whyte.
Oh, now what's it, Mrs. Lord?
Navarre had notice of your fair approach, and he and his competitors in oath were all addressed to meet you, gentle lady, before I came. Marry, thus much have I learnt. He rather means to lodge you in the field than seek a dispensation for his oath, to let you enter his unpeopled house. Here comes Navarre.
The princess. Welcome to the court of Navarre.
Oh, fair, I give you back again, and welcome I have not. Yet. The roof of this court is too high to be yours, and welcome to the wide field, too base to be mine.
You shall be welcome, madam, to my court.
Oh, I will be welcome then. Conduct me thither.
Hear me, dear lady, I have sworn an oath.
Oh, our ladies, help my lord, he'll be forsworn.
Not for all the world, dear madam, by my will.
Why, will shall break it, will, and nothing else.
Your ladyship is ignorant what it is.
Well, my lord, so your ignorance were wise, where now his knowledge must prove ignorance. I hear your grace hath sworn out housekeeping. 'Tis deadly sin to keep that oath, my lord, and sin to break it. But pardon me, I am too sudden bold. To teach a teacher ill beseemeth me. Vouchsafe to read the purpose of my coming, and suddenly resolve me in my suit.
Madam, I will, if suddenly I may.
Oh, you will the sooner that I wear away, or you'll prove perjured if you make me stay.
Did not I dance with you in Brabant once?
Did not I dance with you in Brabant once?
I know you did.
How needless was it then to ask the question?
You must not be so quick.
'Tis long of you that spurn me with such questions.
Your wit's too hot. It speeds too fast, 'twill tire.
Not till it leave the rider in the mire.
What time of day?
The hour that fools should ask.
Fair befall your mask,
Therefore the face it covers.
and send you many lovers.
Amen, so you be none.
Nay then, will I be gone?
Madam, your father here doth intimate the payment of 100,000 crowns, being but the one half of an entire sum disbursed by my father in his wards. But say that he or we, as neither have received that sum, there yet remains unpaid 100,000 more, for surety of the which one part of Aquitaine is bound to us, although not valued at the money's worth. If then the king your father will restore but that one half which is unsatisfied, we will give up our rights in Aquitaine and hold fair friendship with his majesty. But that, it seems, he little purposeth, for here he doth demand to have repaid 100,000 crowns, and not demands, on payment of 100,000 crowns, to have his title live in Aquitaine, which we much rather had depart withal and have the money by our father lent than Aquitaine, so gelded as it is. Fair madam, were not his request so far from reason's yielding, your fair self should make some yielding against a reason in my breast, and go well satisfied to France again.
You do the king my father too much wrong, and wrong the reputation of your name in so unseeming to confess receipt of that which hath so faithfully been paid.
I do protest I never heard of it. And if you prove it, I'll repay it back or yield up Aquitaine.
Oh, we arrest your word. Whyte, you can produce admittances of such a sum from special officers of Charles his father.
Satisfy me, sir.
So please your grace, the packet is not come where that and other specialties abound. Tomorrow you shall have a sight of them.
It shall suffice me, at which interview all liberal reason will I yield unto. Meantime, receive such welcome in my court as honour without breach of honour may make tender of to thy true worthiness. You may not come, sweet princess, within my gates, but here without you shall receive such welcome as you shall deem yourself lodged in my heart, although denied fair harbour in my house. Your own good thoughts, excuse me, and farewell. Tomorrow will we visit you again.
Sweet health and fair desires consort your grace.
My own wish I thee in every place.
Shall I commend you to my own heart?
Pray you do my commendations. I would be glad to see it.
I would you heard it groan.
Oh, is the soul sick?
Sick in the heart?
Hack. Let it blood.
Would that do it good?
My physic says I.
Will you pricked with your eye?
No, point with my knife.
No, God save thy life.
And yours from long living?
I cannot stay Thanksgiving.
Sir, I pray you, a word. What lady is that same?
The heir of Alençon, Catherine her name.
A gallant lady, monsieur. Fare you well.
Beseech you a word. What is she in the white?
A woman sometimes, if you saw her in the light.
Perchance light in the light. I desire her name.
She has but one for herself, to desire that were a shame.
Pray you, sir, whose daughter?
Her mother's, I have heard.
God's blessing.
Good sir, be not offended. She is an heir of Falconbridge.
Hey, my colour is ended. She's a most sweet lady.
Not unlike, sir, that may be.
What's her name in the cap?
Rosaline, by good hap.
Is she wedded or no?
To her will, sir, or so.
You're welcome, sir. Adieu.
Farewell to me, sir, and welcome to you.
That last is Baron, a very merry madcap lord. Not a word with him, but a jest.
And every jest but a word.
It was well done of you to take him at his word.
I was as willing to grapple as he was to board.
2 hot sheeps, marry.
And wherefore not ships? No sheep, sweet lady, unless we feed on your lips.
Ah, you sheep and I pasture. Shall that finish the jest?
So you grant pasture
Oh,
for me?
not so gentle, beast! My lips are no common, though several they be.
Belonging to whom?
To my fortunes and me.
Good wits be jangling, but gentles agree. This civil war of wits were much better used on Navarre and his bookmen, for here 'tis abused.
If my observation, which very seldom lies, by the heart's still rhetoric disclosed with eyes, deceive me not now, Navarre is infected.
With what?
With that which we lovers entitle affected.
Your reason?
Why all his behaviours did make their retire to the court of his eye, peeping thorough desire. His heart like an agate with your print impressed, proud of his form, in his eye pride expressed. His tongue, all impatient to speak and not see, did stumble with haste in his eyesight to be. All senses to that sense did make their repair, to feel only looking on fairest of fair. Methought all his senses were locked in his eye, as jewels in crystal for some prince to buy, who tendering their own worth from whence they were glassed, did point you to buy them along as you passed. His face's own margent did quote such amazes, that all eyes saw his eyes, enchanted with gazes. I'll give you Aquitaine and all that is his, and you give him for my sake but one loving kiss.
Come to our pavilion, Boyette is disposed.
But to speak that in words which his eye hath disclosed, I only have made a mouth of his eye by adding a tongue which I know will not lie.
Thou art an old monger and speakest skillfully.
He is Cupid's grandfather and tells news of him.
Then was Venus like her mother, for her father is but grim.
Do you hear, my mad wenches?
No.
What then do you see?
Aye, our way to be gone.
You are too hard for me.
Sweet air. Oh, tenderness of years, Take this speed. Give enlargement to the swain. Fetch him festly hither. I must employ him in a letter to my love.
But have you forgot your love?
Almost I had.
Negligent student, learn her by heart.
By heart and in heart, boy.
And out of heart, master. All those three I will prove.
What wilt thou prove?
A man if I live. And this. By, in, and without, upon the instant. By heart, you love her, because your heart cannot come by her. In heart, you love her, because your heart is in love with her. And out of heart, you love her, being out of heart that you cannot enjoy her.
I am all these three.
And 3 times as much more, and yet nothing at all.
Fetch hither the swain. He must carry me a letter. The way is but short.
As swift as lead, sir.
Thy meaning pretty ingenious. Is not lead a metal heavy, dull, and slow?
Oh, you are too swift, sir, to say so. Is that lead slow, which is fired from a gun?
Sweet rhetoric of smoke. He reputes me a cannon, and the bullet, that's he. I shoot thee at the swain.
Don't then, and I flee.
My herald is returned.
Oh, wonder, master.
I give thee thy liberty, set thee from durance, and in lieu thereof impose on thee nothing but this. Bear this significant to the country maid Jaquenetta. There is remuneration, for the best reward of mine honors is but rewarding my dependence. Moth, follow.
Like the sequel, I. Senor Costard, adieu.
Oh, my good day, Costard. Exceedingly well met.
Oh, pray you, sir, how much carnation ribbon may a man buy for remuneration?
Well, what is a remuneration?
Marry, sir, halfpenny farthing.
Why no, 3 farthings worth of silver.
I thank your worship. God be with you.
Oh, stay slave, I must employ thee. As thou wilt win my favour, good my knave, do one thing for me that I shall entreat.
When would you have it done, sir?
Oh, this afternoon.
Well, sir, I will do it. Fare you well.
Oh, thou knowest not what it is.
I shall know, sir, when I have done it.
Why, villain, thou must know first.
I will come to your worship tomorrow morning.
Well, it must be done this afternoon. Hark, slave, it is but this. The princess comes to hunt here in the park, and in a train there is a gentle lady. When tongues speak sweetly, then they name her name, and Rosaline they call her. Ask for her, and to her white hand see thou do commend this sealed up counsel. There's thy guerdon. Go.
Guerdon! Oh, sweet guerdon! Better than remuneration. 11 pence farthing better. Most sweet guerdon! I will do it, sir, in print. Guerdon. Remuneration.
Oh, and I, forsooth, in love, I that have been love's whip, a very beadle to a humorous sigh, a critic, nay, a night-watch constable, a domineering pedant o'er the boy, than whom no mortal more magnificent. This wimpled, whining, purblind, wayward boy, this senior junior, giant dwarf Don Cupid, regent of love rhymes, lord of folded arms, the anointed general of sighs and groans, dread prince of plackets, king of codpieces, sole imperator and great general of trotting parroters. Oh, my little heart. And I, to be a corporal of his field, and wear his colours like a tumbler's hoop. What? I love. I sue. I seek a wife. A woman that is like a German clock. Still a repairing, ever out of frame, never going aright, being watched. Oh, but still be it going right, so that she may still go right. Nay, to be perjured, which is worst of all. And among 3, to love, the worst of all, a whitely wanton with a velvet brow and 2 pitch balls stuck in her face for eyes. I am by heaven one that would do the deed, though Argus were a eunuch and her guard. And I, to sigh for her, to watch for her, to pray for her. Go to! It is a plague that Cupid does impose on my neglect of his almighty dreadful little might. Well, I will, love. Right, sigh, sue, crone. Some men must love my lady, and some Joan.
Is that the king that spurs forth so hard against the steep uprising of the hill?
I know not, madam, but I think it was not he.
Whoever he was, he showed a mounting mind. Well, lords, today we shall have our dispatch. On Saturday we will return to France. Then, good boyettes, where is the bush that we must stand and play the murderer in?
Hereby, upon the edge of yonder copse, the stand where you may make the fairest shoot.
Oh, I thank my beauty I am fair that shoots, and thereupon thou speakest, the fairest shoots.
Pardon me, madam, for I meant not so.
What? What? First, praise me, and then again say, no. Oh, short-lived pride, not fair, alack, for woe.
Yes, madam, fair.
Nay, never praise me now. Where fair is not, praise cannot mend the brow. Here, good my glass. Take this, for telling true. Fair payment for foul words is more than due.
Nothing but fair is that which you inherit.
Ah, see, my beauty will be saved by merit. Oh, heresy and fair, fit for these days, a giving hand, though foul, shall have fair praise. But come the bow, now mercy goes to kill, and shooting well is thus accounted ill. Thus will I save my credit in the shoot. Not wounding, pity would not let me do it. If wounding, then it was to show my skill, that more for praise than purpose meant to kill. And out of question, so it is sometimes, glory grows guilty of detested crimes. When for fame's sake, for praise an outward part, we bend to that the workings of the heart. As I for praise alone now seek to spill the poor tear's blood that my heart means no ill.
Do not cursed wives hold that self-sovereignty only for praise sake when they strive to be lords o'er their lords?
Only for praise, and praise we may afford to any lady that subdues a lord.
Here comes a member of the Commonwealth.
I pray you, which is the head lady? Thou shalt know her fellow by the rest that have no heads.
Which is the greatest lady, the highest?
The thickest and the tallest.
The thickest and the tallest, it is so. Truth is truth. And your waist, mistress, were as slender as my wit. One of these maid's girdles for your waist should be fit. Are not you the chief woman? You're not the thickest, are you?
What's your will, sir? What's your will?
I have a letter from Monsieur Berowne to one Lady Rosaline.
He's a good friend of mine. Stand aside, good fair and boyette. Break up this capone.
I am bound to serve. This letter is mistook. It importeth none here. It is writ to Jaquenetta.
We will read it, I swear. Break the neck of the wax, and everyone, give ear.
By heaven that thou art fair is most infallible. True that thou art beauteous, truth itself that thou art lovely, more fairer than fair, beautiful than beauteous, truer than truth itself. Have commiseration on thy heroical vassal. The magnanimous and most illustrate King Cophetua set eye upon the pernicious and indubitate beggar Xenophon. And he it was that might rightly say, Veni vidi vici, which to anathemize in the vulgar, O base and obscure vulgar, videlicet, he came, see, and overcame. He came, 1, see, 2, overcame, 3. Who came? The king. Why did he come? To see. Why did he see? To overcome. To whom came he? To the beggar. What saw he? The beggar. Who overcame he? Altogether.
The
beggar. The conclusion is victory. On whose side?
The king.
The king! The captive is enriched. On whose side? The beggars. The catastrophe is a nuptial. On whose side? The king's. No, on both in one, or one in both. I am the king, for so stands the comparison. Thou the beggar, for so witnesseth thy lowliness. Shall I command thy love? I may. Shall I enforce thy love? I could. Shall I entreat thy love? I will. What shalt thou exchange for rags, robes, for tittles, titles, for thyself, me? Thus, expecting thy reply, I proclaim my lips on thy foot, my eyes on thy picture, and my heart on thy every part. Oh. Thine in the dearest design of industry, Don Adriana de Armado. Aye. Thus dost thou hear the Nemean lion roar, gainst thee, thou lamb, that standest as his prey. Submissive fall his princely feet before, and he from forage will incline to play. But if thou strive, poor soul, what art thou then? Food for his rage, repasture for his den.
What plume of feathers is he that indited this letter? What vane, what weathercock? Did you ever hear better?
I am much deceived, but I remember the style.
Else your memory is bad, going over it here a while.
This Armado is a Spaniard that keeps here in court, a fantasy, a Monaco, and one that makes sport to the prince and his bookmates.
Thou fellow a word? Who gave thee this letter?
I told you, my lord.
To whom shouldst thou give it?
From my lord to my lady.
From which lord to which lady?
From my lord Berowne, a good master of mine, to a lady of France that he called Rosaline.
Thou hast mistaken his letter. Come, lords, away. Oh, here, sweets, put up this. We'll be thine another day.
Very reverend sport, truly, and done in the testimony of a good conscience.
The deer was, as you know, sanguis in blood, ripe as a palm of water that hangs like a jewel in the ear of Cello, the sky, the welcome, the heaven, and now anon falleth like a crab on the face of Terra, the soil, the land, the earth.
Truly, Master Holofernes, the epithets are sweetly varied, like a scholar at the least. But I assure ye, sir, it was a buck of the first head.
Sir Nathaniel, Ode credo.
'Twas not an old grey doe, 'twas a pricket.
Most barbarous intimation, and yet a kind of intimation, as it were, in way of explication, facere, as it were, replication, or rather ostentare, to show, as it were, his inclination after his undressed, unpolished, uneducated, unpruned, untrained, or rather unlettered, or rather est, uncommon fashion to insert again my Ode credo for a deer.
I said the deer was not an old grey doe, 'twas a pricket.
Twice sod simplicity, beef coctus. O thou monster ignorance, how deformed dost thou look.
Sir, he hath not fed of the dainties which are bred in a book. He hath not eat paper, as it were. He hath not drunk ink. His intellect is not replenished. He is only an animal.
only sensible in the duller parts. And such barren plants are set before us, that we should thankful be, which we are, for those parts that do fructify in us more than he. For, as it would ill become me to seem vain, indiscreet, or a fool, so were there a patch set on learning to see him in a school. But omne bene, say I, being of an old father's mind, many can brook the weather that love not the wind with wind.
You two are bookmen. Can you tell by your wit what is a month old at Cain's birth that's not 5 weeks old as yet?
Dictissima Goodman-Dull, Dictissima Goodman-Dull.
What is dictima?
A title to Phoebe, to Luna, to the moon.
All right.
The moon was a month old when Adam was no more, and wrought not to 5 weeks when he came to 50. The allusion holds in the exchange.
True indeed. The collusion holds in the exchange.
Oh, God comfort thy capacity. I say the allusion holds in the exchange.
I say the collusion holds in the exchange. For the moon is never more than a month old, and I say, besides that, 'twas a pricket the princess killed.
Sir Nathaniel, will you hear an extemporal epitaph on the death of the deer? And to humor the ignorant, call I the deer the princess killed a pricket.
Purgay, good master Holofernes, purgay. So it please you to abrogate scurrility.
I will something affect the letter, as it argues facility. A prayful princess pierced and picked a pretty pleasing pricket. Some say a sore, yet not a sore, till now made sore with shooting. The dogs did yell, put L to sore, then sorrel jumps from thicket. If or pricket sore, or else for sore else, the people fall a hooting. If sore be sore, then L to sore makes 50 sore, one sorrel. Of one sore I an 100 make by adding but one more L.
A rare talent!
If a talent be a claw, look how he claws him with a talent.
This is a gift I have, simple, a foolish, extravagant spirit, full of forms, figures, shapes, objects, ideas, apprehensions, motions, revolutions. These are begot in the ventricle of memory, nourished in the womb of premater, and delivered upon the mellowing of occasion. But the gift is good in those in whom it is acute, and I am thankful for it.
Sir, I praise the Lord for you, and so may my parishioners, for their sons are well tutored by you, and their daughters profit very greatly under you. You are a good member of the Commonwealth.
Meherkel, if their sons be ingenuous, they shall not want instruction. If their daughters be capable, I will put it to them. But vir sapit, qui pauca loquitur, a soul feminine approacheth us.
God give you good moral, Miss Master Person.
Master person, a quasi-person, and if one be pursed, which is the one?
Mariam, schoolmaster, he that is likest to a hogshead.
Ah, of piercing a hogshead, a good luster of conceit in a turf of earth, fire enough for a flint, pearl enough for a swine. 'Tis pretty, 'tis good.
Good Master Parson, I beseech you read this letter. It was given me by Costard and sent me from Don Armado.
Pray, Corgelida, quando pecus omnes sum umbra ruminat. Oh, good old Mantuan, I may speak of thee as the traveller doth of Venice. Venci vence, que non te unde, que non te parece. O old Mantuan, who understandeth thee not, loves thee not. Ut re sola mi fa. Under pardon, sir, what are the contents, or rather, as Horace says in his What, my soul, verses?
Aye, sir, and very learned.
Let me hear a stanza, a staff, a verse. Lege, Domine.
If love make me forsworn, how shall I swear to love? Ah, never faith could hold, if not to beauty vowed. Though to myself forsworn, to thee I'll faithful prove. Those thoughts to me were oaks, to thee like osiers bowed. Study his bias leaves, and makes his book thine eyes, where all those pleasures live that art can comprehend. If knowledge be the mark, to know thee shall suffice. Well learned is that tongue that well can thee commend, or ignorant that soul that sees thee without wonder. Which is to me some praise that I thy parts admire. Thy eye Jove's lightning bears, thy voice his dreadful thunder, which not to anger bent is music and sweet fire, celestial as thou art. Oh, pardon, love, this wrong that sings heaven's praise with such an earthly tongue.
You find not the apostrophes, and so miss the accent. Let me supervise the kanganet. Well, here are only numbers ratified, but for the elegancy, facility, and golden cadence of poesy, carrot. Ovidius Naso was the man. And why indeed Naso, but for smelling out the odoriferous flowers of fancy, the jerks of invention. Imitare is nothing. So doth the hound his master, the ape his keeper, and the tired horse his rider. But Damosella Virgin, was this directed to you?
Aye, sir, from one Monsieur Berowne, one of the strange Queen's lords.
I will overglance the superscript. To the snow-white hand of the most beauteous lady, Rosaline. I will look again at the intellect of the letter for the nomination of the party writing to the party written unto. Your ladyships in all desired employment, Berowne. Sir Nathaniel, this Berowne is one of the votaries of the king, and here he hath framed a letter to a sequent of the stranger queens, which, accidentally or by way of progression, hath miscarried. Trip and go, my sweet. Take this paper to the king's hand, it may concern much. Stay not thy compliment, I forgive thy duty. Adieu.
Good Costard, go with me. Sir, God save your life. Off with thee, my girl. Sir, you have done this in the fear of God, very religiously. And as a certain father saith...
Oh, speak not of the father. I fear colorable colors.
Oh.
Sir Nathaniel, I do dine today at the father's of a certain pupil of mine, where, if being repast, it shall please you to gratify the table with a grace, I will, on my privilege with the parents of the aforesaid child or pupil, undertake your benvenuto, where I will prove those verses to be very unlearned, favoring neither of poetry, wit, nor invention. I beseech your society.
And thank you too, for society, as saith the text, is the happiness of life.
And the text most certainly concludes it. Sir, I do invite you too. You shall not semine pauca verba. Away, The gentles are at their game, and we will to our recreation.
The king, he is hunting the deer. I am coursing myself. They have pitched to toil, I am toiling in a pitch that defiles. Defile, a foul word. Well, set thee down, Sorrow, and so they say the fool said, and so say I. And I the fool, well proved wit. Oh, by Jove, this love is mad as Ajax. It kills sheep. It kills me. I, a sheep. Well proved again on my side. I will not love. If I do, hang me. In faith, I will not. Oh, but her eye! By the light! Were it not for her eye, I would not love her. Yes, for her 2 eyes. Well, I do nothing in the world but lie, and lie in my throat. By heaven, I do love. And it hath taught me to rhyme and to be melancholy. And here is part of my rhyme. And here, I'm melancholy. She hath one of my sonnets already. The clown bore it, the fool sent it, and the lady hath it. Sweet clown, sweeter fool, sweetest lady. By the world, I would not care a pin if the other 3 were in. Here comes one with a paper. God-given grace to grow. I'm me. Shot by heaven. Proceed, sweet Cupid. Thou hast thumped him with thy bird bolt under the left pap. In fact, sequence.
So sweet a kiss the golden sun gives not to those fresh morning drops upon the rose, as thy eye beams when their fresh rays have smote the night of dew that on my cheeks down flows. Nor shines the silver moon one half so bright through the transparent bosom of the night, as does thy face through tears of mine give light. Thou shinest in every tear that I do weep. No drop, but as a coach doth carry thee, so ridest thou triumphing in my woe. Do but behold these tears that swell in me, and they thy glory through my grief will show. But do not love thyself, then thou wilt keep my tears for glasses, and still make me weep. O Queen of Queens, how far dost thou excel? No thought can think, nor tongue of mortal tell. How shall she know my griefs? I'll drop the paper. Who is he He comes here? What, Longaville? And reading? Listen, ear.
And in thy likeness, one more fool appear.
I'm me, I'm forsworn.
Why, he comes in like a purger, wearing papers.
Love, I hope, sweet fellowship in shame.
One drunkard loves another of the name.
Am I the first I have been perjured so?
I can put thee in comfort not by 2 that I know. Thou makest the triumphary the corner stack of society, the shape of love's to burn that hangs up simplicity.
I fear these stubborn lines lack power to move. Oh, sweet Maria, empress of my love, these numbers I will tear and write in prose.
Oh, rhymes are guards on wanton Cupid's hose. This figure not his shop.
This same shall go. Did not the heavenly rhetoric of thine eye, against which the world cannot hold argument, persuade my heart to this false perjury? A woman I forswore, but I will prove, thou being a goddess, I forswore not thee. My vow was earthly, thou a heavenly love. Thy grace being gained, cures all disgrace in me. Vows are but breath, and breath a vapour is. Then thou, fair sun, which on my earth doth shine, exhalest this vapour vow. In thee it is. If broke then, 'tis no fault of mine. If by me broke, what fool is not so wise to lose an oath to win a paradise?
This is the liver vein that makes flesh a deity. The green goose is goddess. Pure idolatry. God amend us, God amend. We are much out of the way.
By whom shall I send this? Company, stay.
All hid an old infant play. More sacks to the mill. Oh, by heavens, I have my wish. Dumaine transformed, 4 woodcocks in a dish.
Oh, most divine Kate.
Oh, most profane coxcomb.
By heaven, for a mortal eye.
By her, she is not corporal, there you lie.
As fair as day.
Aye, as some days, and then no sun must shine.
Oh, that I have my wish.
And I had mine.
Amen, so I had mine. Is that not a good word?
I would forget her, but a fever in my blood reigns still, and she will be remembered.
A fever in your blood? Why, that incision would let her out in sauces. Sweet Miss Prison.
Once more, I'll read the ode that I have writ.
Once more, I'll mark how love can vary wit.
On a day, alack the day, love, whose month is every May, spied a blossom passing fair, playing in the wanton air. Through the velvet leaves the wind, all unseen, can passage find. That the cover, sick to death, wish himself the heaven's breath. Ere, quoth he, thy cheeks may blow, ere would I might triumph so. But, alack, my hand is sworn, ne'er to pluck thee from thy throne. Vow alack for youth unmeet, youth so apt to pluck a sweet. Do not call it sin in me that I am forsworn for thee. This I'll send and something else more plain, that I can, forsooth, though alack, I can in thee, and none offend when others do dote.
Dumaine, thy love is far from charity. That in love's grief desire society. You may look pale, but I should blush, I know, to be o'erheard and taken napping so.
Come, sir, you blush, as his, your case is such. You chide at him, offending twice as much. But you do not love Maria. Longaville did never sonnet for her sake compile, nor never lay his wreathed arms athwart his loving bosom to keep down his heart. I have been close concealed in this bush, and marked you both, and for you both did blush. I heard your guilty rhymes, observed your fashion, saw sighs reek from you, noted well your passion. Ay me, says one, O Jove, the other cries. One, her hairs were gold, crystal, the other's eyes. You would for paradise break faith and troth, and Jove, for your loathe, would infringe an oath. What will Berowne say when that he shall hear faith infringed, which such zeal did swear? How will he scorn? How will he spend his wit? How will he triumph, leap, and laugh at it? For all the wealth that ever I did see, I would not have him know so much by me.
Oh, step I forth to whip hypocrisy. Now, good my liege, I pray thee pardon me. Good heart, what grace hast thou thus to reprove these worms for loving that are most in love? Your eyes do make no couches in your tears. There is no certain princess that appears. You'll not be perjured, 'tis a hateful thing. Tush! None but minstrels like of sonneting. But are you not ashamed? Nay, are you not, all three of you, for being thus much o'ershot? You found his mote. The king your mote did see, but I, a beam, to find in each of three. Oh, what a scene of foolery have I seen. Of sighs, of groans, of sorrows, and of team. Ay me, with what strict patience have I sat to see a king transform into a gnat, to see great Hercules whipping a gig, a profound Salomon to tuning a jig, and Nestor play at pushpin with the boys, and critic Timon laugh at idle toys? Where lies thy grief? Oh, tell me, good Dumaine. And gentle Longaville, where lies thy pain? And where my lieges? All about the breast, a candle, ho!
Too bitter is thy jest. Are we betrayed thus to thine overview?
Not you by me, but I betrayed to you. I that am honest. I that hold it sin to break the oath I am engaged in. I am betrayed by keeping company with men like you, men of inconstancy. When shall you see me write a thing in rhyme? Or groan for Joan, or spend a minute's time in pruning me? When shall you hear that I shall praise a hand, a foot, a face, an eye, a leg, a gait, a state, a brow, a breast, a waist, a leg, a line?
Soft? Whither away so fast? A true man or a thief that gallops so?
I post from love, good lover. Let me go.
God bless the king!
What present hast thou there?
Some certain treason.
What makes treason here?
Nay, it makes nothing.
If it mar nothing neither, both the treason and you go in peace away together.
I bless your grace, let this letter be read. Our parson misdoubts it. It was treason, he said.
Berowne, read it over. Where hast thou it?
Oh, of Costard.
Where hadst thou it?
Of Don Adramadio.
Yes.
Don Adramadio.
What, how now? What is in you? Why dost thou eat it?
A toy. A toy, my liege, honeys not fear it.
It did move into passion, and therefore let's hear it.
It is Berowne's name, yes. Here is his name.
Oh, you horse and loggerhead, you were born to do me shame. Guilty, my lord. Guilty. I confess. I confess!
What?
That you three fools lacked me fool to make up the mess. He, and you, my liege, and I are pick purses in love and deserve to die. Dismiss this audience and I shall tell you more.
Aye, the number's even.
True, we are four. Will these turtles be gone?
Hence, sirs, away.
Walk aside the true folk and let the traitors stay!
Woo. Sweet lords! Sweet lovers! Oh, let us embrace! As true we are, as flesh and blood can be. Young blood cannot obey an old decree. We cannot cross the cause while we are born. Therefore, to every hand must we be forsworn.
What, did these rent lines show some love of thine?
Did they, quoth you? Who sees the heavenly Rosaline? What peremptory, eagle-sighted eye dares look upon the heaven of her brow and is not blinded by her majesty?
What zeal, what fury hath inspired thee now? My love, her mistress is a gracious moon. She, an attendant star, scarce seen a light.
My eyes are then no eyes, nor I Berowne. But for my mistress, day would turn to night. Of all complexions, the cold sovereignty do meet as at a fair in her fair cheek. And several worthies make one dignity. When nothing wants but want itself doth seek, lends me the flourish of all gentle tongues. Fie, painted rhetoric, oh, she needs it not. To things of sale a seller's praise belongs. She passes praise, then praise too short doth blot. A withered hermit, 50 winters warm, can shake off 50, looking in her eye. Beauty doth varnish age as if new-born. It gives the crutch to cradle's infancy. It is the sun that maketh all things shine.
But what of this? Are we not all in love?
Nothing so sure, and thereby all forsworn.
Then leave this chat, And good Berowne, now prove our loving lawful, and our faith not torn.
Aye, marry there, some flattery for this evil.
Oh, some authority how to proceed, some tricks, some quillets how to cheat the devil.
Some salve for perjury.
Oh, 'tis more than need. Consider then, first what you swore unto. To fast, to study, and to see no woman. Flat treason against the kingly state of youth. Say, can you fast? Your stomachs are too young, and abstinence engenders maladies. Oh, we have made a vow to study, lords. But in this vow we have forsworn our books. For when would you, my liege, or you, in leaden contemplation have found out such fiery numbers as the prompting eyes of beauty's tutors have enriched you with? Other slow arts entirely keep the brain, and therefore finding barren practices scarce show the harvest of their heavy toil. But love, first learned in a lady's eyes, lives not alone immured in the brain, but in the motion of all elements, courses as swift as thought through every power, and gives to every power a double power above her functions and her offices. It adds a precious seeing to the eye. A lover's eyes can gaze an eagle blind. A lover's ear can hear the lowest sound, and when the suspicious head of theft is stopped, love's feeling is more soft and sensible than are the tender horns on cockled snails. Love's tongue proves dainty, Bacchus gross in taste. For valour, is not love a Hercules, still climbing trees in the Hesperides, as subtle as Sphinx, as sweet and musical as bright Apollo's lute, strong with her hair? And when love speaks, the voice of all the gods makes heaven drowsy with the harmony. Never does poet touch a pen to write until his ink were tempered with love's sighs, and then his lines would ravish savage ears and plant in tyrants mild humility. From women's eyes, this doctrine I derive. They sparkle still, the bright Promethean fire. They are the books, the arts, the academes that show, contain, and nourish all the world. Oh, else none at all. It ought to prove excellent. Therefore, fools you were these women to forswear, or keeping what is sworn, you shall prove fools for wisdom's sake, a word that all men love, or for love's sake, a word that loves all men, or for men's sake, the authors of these women, or for women's sake, by whom we men are men. Let's first once lose our oaths to find ourselves, or else we lose ourselves to keep our oaths. It is religion to be thus forsworn, and charity itself fulfills the law, and who can sever love from charity?
Saint Cupid then, and soldiers to the field.
Advance your standards, and upon them, lords, pell-mell, down with them, but be first advised in conflict that we get the son of them.
Now, to plain dealing, let these gloves by, shall we resolve to woo these girls of France?
And win them too, therefore let us devise some entertainment for them in their tents.
First, from the park let us conduct them thither, then homeward, every man attach the hand of his fair mistress. In the afternoon, we shall with some strange pastime solace them, such as the shortness of the time can shape. For revels, dances, masks, and merry hours forerun fair love, strewing our way with flowers.
Away, away, let no time be admitted that shall be time and may by us be fitted.
Satis quid sufficit.
Sir, I praise God for you. Your reasons at dinner have been sharp and sententious, pleasant without scurrility, witty without affection, audacious without impudency, learned without opinion, and strange without heresy. I did converse this quondam day with a companion of the king's, who is entitled, nominated, or called Don Adriano de Armado.
Novi hominum tanquam te. His humour is lofty, his discourse peremptory, his eye ambitious, his tongue filed, his gait majestical, and his general behaviour vain ridiculous and thrasonical. He is too picked, too spruce, too affected, too odd, as it were, too peregrinate, as I may call it.
A most singular and choice epithet.
He draweth out the thread of his verbosity finer than the staple of his argument. I detest such insociable men, such rackers of orthography, as who should speak doubt fine when he should say doubt, debt when he should pronounce debt, D-E-B-T, not D-E-T. He eclepeth calf, calf, half, half, nechbor, vocatur neighbor, nech, abbreviated neg. This is abominable, which he would call abominable. Intelligus nomine, to make frantic, lunatic.
Leus deo bene intellego.
Bome, boon, for boon, pression. A little scratched, 'twill serve.
Do you not educate youth at the charge house on the top of the mountain?
Or Mons the hill?
At your sweet pleasure for the mountain.
Without question, yes.
Sir, it is the king's most sweet pleasure and affection to congratulate the princess at her pavilion in the posteriors of this day, which the rude multitude call the afternoon.
Sir, the posterior of the day is liable, congruent, and measurable for the afternoon. It is a word well culled, chose, sweet, and apt. I do assure you, sir, I do assure.
Sir, the king is a noble gentleman and a familiar, I do assure ye, very good friend. For what is inward between us, let it pass. I do beseech thee, remember thy courtesy, and among other important and most serious designs, and of great import indeed too. But let that pass, for I must tell thee, it will please his grace, by the world, sometime to lean upon my poor shoulder, and with his royal finger thus dally with my excrement, with my mustachio, at your sweet pleasure, my dear sir. By the world, I recount no fable. Some certain special honors it pleaseth his greatness to bestow on Armado, a soldier, a man of travel that hath seen the world. But let that pass. The very all of all is, but sweetheart, I do implore secrecy. The king would have me present the princess, sweet chuck, with some delightful ostentation, or show, or pageant, or antic, or firework. Now, understanding that the curate and your sweet self are good at such eruptions and sudden breaking out of mirth, as it were, I've acquainted you with all, to the end, to crave your assistance.
Sir, you shall present the 9 worthies. Sir Nathaniel, concerning some entertainment, some show in the posterior of the day, to be rendered by our assistants, the king's command, and this most gallant gentleman, we shall present, I say, none so fit as to present the 9 worthies.
Where will you find men worthy enough to present them?
Yourself, myself, this learned gentleman, Judas Maccabeus, this swain for his long limb and joint shall present Pompey the Great, and the page, Hercules.
Pardon, sir, error. He is not quantity enough for that worthy's thumb. He is not so big as the end of his club.
Shall I have audience? He shall present Hercules in minority. His enter and his exit shall be strangling a snake, and I will have an apology for the purpose.
An excellent device. So if any of the audience hiss, you may cry, "Well done, Hercules! Now thou crushest the snake!" That is the way to make an offence gracious, though you have the grace to do it.
For the rest of the worthies?
I will present 3 myself.
Thrice worthy gentlemen.
Shall I tell you a thing?
We attend.
We will have, if this fadge not, an antic. I beseech you, follow.
Sir Goodman-Doe, thou hast spoken no word all this while.
Nor understood none neither, sir.
Most dull, good dull. To our sport, away.
Sweethearts, we shall be wrecked. The barons come thus plentifully in. A lady walled about with diamonds. Look you what I have from the loving king.
Oh, madam, came nothing else along with that?
Oh, nothing but this. Yes, as much love in rhyme as would be crammed up in a sheet of paper. Written on both sides the leaf, margins and all, that he was fain to seal on Cupid's name.
That was the way to make his godhead wax, for he hath been 5,000 years a boy.
But Rosalind, you have a favour too. Who sent it, and what is it?
Madam, I would you knew. And if my face was but as fair as yours, my favour were as greatly witnessed this nay. I have verses too, I thank Berowne. The numbers, true, and why the numbering too. I am the fairest goddess on the ground. I'm compared to 20,000 fairs. Oh. He hath drawn my picture in his letter.
Anything like?
Much in the letters, little in the praise.
But Catherine, what was sent to you from Fair Dumaine?
Madam, this glove.
Did he not send you twain?
Yes, madam, and moreover, some 1,000 verses of a faithful lover, a huge translation of hypocrisy, vilely compiled, profound simplicity. This and these pearls to me sent Longaville. The letter is too long by half a mile.
I think no less. Oh, dost thou not wish in heart the chain were longer and the letter short?
Aye, and I would these hands would never part.
We all wise girls do mock our lovers so.
They are worse fools to purchase mocking so. That same Berowne I'll torture ere I go. Oh, that I had known he were but in by the week, how I would make him fawn and beg and seek and wait the season and observe the times and spend his prodigal wits on bootless rhymes and shape his service wholly to my device and make him proud, to make me proud that jests. So pursuant like would I o'ersway his state that he should be my fool and I his fate.
Oh, here comes Whyte, and mirth is in his face.
Oh, I am stabbed with laughter. Where's her grace?
Oh, thy news, Whyte.
Prepare, madam, prepare. Arm, wenches, arm. Encounters mounted are against your peace. Love doth approach, disguised. Armoured with arguments, you'll be surprised. Muster your wits, stand in your own defence, or hide your heads like cowards and fly hence.
It's the dentist to St. Cupid. What are they that charge their breath against us? Say, Scout, say.
Under the cool shade of sycamore, I thought to close mine eyes some half an hour, when lo, to interrupt my purposed rest, toward that shade I might behold addressed the king and his companions. Warily I stole into a neighbour thicket by, and overheard what you shall overhear, that by and by, disguised, they will be here. Their herald is a pretty knavish page, that well by heart hath condescend a sage. Action and accent did they teach him there, thus must thou speak, and thus thy body bear. And ever and anon they made a doubt, presence majestical would put him out. For quoth the king, an angel shalt thou see, yet fear not thou, but speak audaciously. The boy replied, an angel is not evil. I should have feared her had she been a devil. But this fool cried and clapped him on the shoulder, making the bold wag by their praises bolder. One rubbed his elbows thus and fleered and swore a better speech was never spoke before. Another with his finger and his thumb cried,
we will do it, come what will come. The third, he capered and cried, all goes well. The fourth turned on his toe and down he fell. With that, all tumbled on the ground with such a zealous laughter so profound that in this spleen ridiculous appears to check their folly, passion's solemn tears.
But what? Can they to visit us?
They do, and are apparelled thus like Muscovites or Russians, as I guess. Their purpose is to parley, to court, and dance, and everyone his love feet will advance unto his several mistress, which they'll know by favours several which they did bestow.
And will they so? The gallants shall be tasked. For ladies, we will everyone be masked. And not a man of them shall have the grace, despite of suit, to see a lady's face. Hold, Rosalind, this favour thou shalt wear, and then the king will court thee for his dear. Hold, and give me thine. So shall Berowne take me for Rosaline. Oh, and change your favours too, so shall your loves woo contrary deceived by these removes.
Come on then, why the favour's most in sight?
But in this changing, what is your intent?
The effect of my intent is to cross theirs. They do it, but in mocking merriment, and mock, for mock is only my intent. Their several counsels they unbosom shall to love's mistook, and so be mocked withal. Upon the next occasion that we meet with the visitors displayed to talk and greet.
Why, this content will kill the keeper's heart and quite divorce his memory from his past.
And so I do it, and I make no doubt the rest will ere come in if he be out. There's no such sport as sport by sport o'erthrown to make theirs ours and ours none but our own. So shall we stay, mocking intended game, and they, well mocked, depart away with shame.
Be masked, the maskers come.
All hail the richest beauties on the earth.
Beauty's no richer than rich taffeta.
Oh, holy parcel of the fairest dames that ever turned their backs to mortal views.
Their eyes, villain, their eyes!
That ever turned their eyes to mortal views. Out.
True, out indeed.
Out of their favours. Heavenly spirits vouchsafe not to behold.
Once to behold, Rose!
Once to behold, with your sun-beamed eyes. With your sun-beamed eyes.
They'll not answer to that epithet. You will best call it garter-beamed eyes.
They do not mark me, and that brings me out.
Is this your perfectness? Be gone, rogue!
What would these strangers blow their mind for yet? If they do speak our language, 'tis our will that some plain man do recount their purposes, though what they would.
What would you with the princess?
Nothing but peace and gentle visitation.
What would they say?
Nothing but peace and gentle visitation?
Why, that they have, and bid them so be gone.
She says you have it and you may be gone.
Say to her, we have measured many miles to tread the measure with her on this grass.
They say that they have measured many a mile to tread a measure with you on this grass.
It is not so. Ask them how many inches are in 1 mile. If they have measured many, the measure then of one is easily told.
If to come hither you have measured miles, and many miles, the princess bids you tell how many inches doth fill up 1 mile.
Tell her we measure them by weary steps.
She hears herself.
How many weary steps of many weary miles you have o'ergone are numbered in the travel of 1 mile?
We number nothing that we spend for you. Our duty is so rich, so infinite, that we might do it still without a count. Vouchsafe to show the sunshine of your face, that we, like savages, may worship it.
My face is but a moon and clouded too.
Blessed are clouds to do as such clouds do. Vouchsafe, bright moon, and these thy stars to shine, these clouds removed upon our watery eyne.
Oh, a petition, I beg, a greater matter. Thou now request but moonshine in the water.
Then, in our measure, do but vouchsafe one change. Thou bidd'st me beg. This begging is not strange.
Play music then. Hey, you must do it soon. Not yet, no dance. Thus changed I like the moon.
You will not dance, how come you thus estranged?
You took the moon a fall, but now she's changed.
But still she is the moon, and I are.
The music plays, vouchsafe the motion to it. Arias vouchsafe.
But your legs should do it.
Since you are strangers and came here by chance, will not be nice to take hands, we will not dance.
Why take with hands then?
Only to part friends. Fancy, sweetheart. And so the measure ends.
More measure of this measure, be not nice.
We can afford no more at such a price.
Praise you yourselves. What buys your company?
Your absence only?
That can never be.
Then cannot we be bought, and so adieu. Twice to your visor, half once to you.
If you deny to dance, let's have more chat.
In private then.
I am best pleased with that.
White-handed mistress, one sweet word with thee.
Honey, milk, and sugar. There is 3.
One word in secret.
Oh, let it not be sweet.
Thou grievest my goal.
Oh, bitter.
Therefore, meat.
Will you vouchsafe with me to change a word?
Name it.
Fair lady.
Say you so. Fair lord, take you that for your fair lady.
Please it you, as much in private I'll bid adieu.
What? Was your visor made without a tongue?
I know the reason, lady, why you ask.
Oh, for your reason, quickly, sir, I long.
Not one more word, my maids. Break off, break off.
Oh, by heaven, who'll try beat him with pure scoff?
Farewell, mad witches, you have simple wits.
Use my frozen muscovits. Release the breed of wits so wondered at.
Tapers they are, madam, with your sweet breaths puffed out.
Oh, well-liking wits they have, gross, fits.
Poverty and wit, giggly poor flouts. Will they not think you hang themselves tonight? Or ever but invised show their faces? This pert Berowne was out of countenance quite.
Oh, they were all in lamentable cases. The king was whipping like for a good one.
Oh, quick Berowne hath plighted faith to me.
Dumaine was at my service, and his sword. No point, quoth I, my servant straight was mute. Lord Longaville said I came o'er his heart, and trow you what he called me?
Oh, Quam, perhaps.
Yes, in good faith.
Go sickness as thou art.
Well, better wits have worn plain statue caps, but will you hear? The king is my love sworn.
And quick Berowne hath plighted faith to me.
And Longaville was for my service born. Dumaine is mine, as sure as bark on tree.
Madam and pretty mistresses, give ear. Immediately they will again be here in their own shapes, for it can never be they will digest this harsh indignity.
Will they return?
They will, They will, God knows, and leap for joy, though they are lame with blows. Therefore change favours, and when they repair, blow like sweet roses in this summer air.
How blow? How blow? Speak to be understood.
Fair ladies masked are roses in their bud. Dismasked, their damask sweet commixture shown, are angels veiling clouds, or roses blown.
Avance perplexity. What shall we do if they return in their own shapes to woo?
Good madam, if by me you'll be advised, let's mock them still as well known as disguised. Let us complain to them what fools were here, disguised like Muscovites in shapeless girls, and what they wonder, and to what end their shallow shows and prologue vilely penned, and their rough carriage so ridiculous shall be presented at her tent to us.
Withdraw, ladies, the gallants are at hand.
Whip to our tents, as rows run over land.
Fair sir, God save you. Where's the princess?
Gone to her tent. Please it, your majesty, command me any service to her?
That she vouchsafe me audience for one word.
I will, and so will she, I know, my lord.
This fellow pecks up wit as pigeons peas, and utters it again when God doth please. He is wit's peddler, and retails his wares at wakes and wassails, meetings, markets, fairs, and we, that sell by gross, the Lord doth know, have not the grace to grace it with such show. This gallant pins the wenches on his sleeve. Had he been Adam, he had tempted Eve. He could carve too, and lisp. Why, this is he that kissed away his hand in courtesy. This is the ape of Monsieur the Nice, that when he plays at tables, chides the dice in honourable terms. Nay, he can sing, mean, most meanly, and in ushering, mend him who can. The ladies call him sweet. The stairs as he treads on them kiss his feet. Why, this is he that smiles on everyone to show his teeth as white as whale's bone, and consciences that will not die in debt pay him the duty of honey-tongued boyette.
A blister on his sweet tongue from my heart that put Armado's page out of his part.
Oh, look where it comes. Behaviour, what wert thou? Until this madman showed thee, and what art thou now?
All hail, sweet madam, and fair time of day.
Fair and all hail is foul, as I conceive.
Construe my speeches better, if you may.
Then wish me better. I will give you leave.
We came to visit you, and purpose now to lead you to our court. Vouchsafe it, then.
This field shall hold me, and so hold your vow. Nor God nor I delight in perjured men.
Rebuke me not with that which you provoke. Virtue of your eye must break my oath.
You nickname virtue, vice you should have spoke, for virtue's office never breaks men's troth. Now by my maiden honour, yet as pure as the unsullied lily, I protest, a world of torments though I should endure, I would not yield to be your house guest. So much I hate a breaking cause to be of heavenly oaths vowed with integrity.
Oh, you have lived in desolation here, unseen, unvisited, much to our shame.
Oh, not so, my lord, not so, I swear. We have had pastimes here and pleasant game. A mess of Russians left us, but of late.
How, madam? Russians?
Aye, in truth, my lord. Trim gallants full of courtship and of state.
Madam, speak true, it is not so, my lord. My lady, to the manner of the days, in courtesy gives undeserving praise. We four, indeed, confronted were with four in Russian habits. Here they stayed an hour and talked apace. But in an hour, my lord, they did not bless us with one happy word. I would not call them fools, but I would think when they are thirsty, fools would fain have drink.
This jest is try to me. Gentle, sweet. Your wit makes wise things foolish when we greet with best-seeing eyes. Heaven's fiery eye. By light we lose light. Your capacity is of that nature. That's your huge store. Wise things seem foolish and rich things but poor.
Then you are wise and rich, for in my eye...
I am a fool and full of poverty.
But that you take what doth to you belong, it is a fault to snatch words from my tongue.
Oh, I am yours, and all that I possess.
All the fool mine.
I cannot give you less.
Which of the vizards was it that you wore?
Where? When? What vizard? Why demand you this?
There. Then, that vizard, that superfluous case, that hid the worst and showed the better face.
We were descried. They'll mock us now downright.
Let us confess and turn it to a jest.
Amazed, my lord! Why looks your highness sad? Your help hold his brows, he'll sound. Why looks you pale? Seasick, I think, coming from Muscovy.
Oh, pour the stars down plagues for perjury. Can any face of brass hold longer out? Here stand I, lady. Dart thy skill at me. Bruise me with scorn, confound me with a flout. Pierce thy sharp wit right through my ignorance. Cut me to pieces with thy keen conceit. And I will wish thee never more to dance, nor never more in Russian habits wait. Oh, I will never trust the speeches penned, or to the motion of a schoolboy's tongue, nor never come in vizard to my friend, nor woo in rhyme like a blind harper's song. Taffeta phrases, silken terms, precise, three-piled hyperbole, spruce affection, figures pedantical. These summer flies have blown me full of maggot ostentation. I here forswear them, and I here protest by this white glove, how white the hand, God knows. Henceforth, my wooing mind shall be expressed in russet years and honest, cursey nose. And to begin, wench, oh God help me, Law, my love to thee is sound. Sans crack or flaw.
Sans, I pray you.
Yet I have a trick of the old rage. Bear with me, I am sick. I'll leave it by degrees. Soft, let us see. Right, Lord have mercy on us, on these three. They are infected. In their hearts it lies. They have the plague and caught it of your eyes. These lords are visited, but I see you are not free. For the Lord's tokens on you do I see.
No, they are free that gave these tokens to us.
Our states are forfeit. Seek not to undo us.
It is not so, for how can it be true that you stand forfeit, being those that sue?
Peace! I will not have to do with you.
Nor shall not if I do as I intend.
Speak for yourselves. My wit is at an end.
Teach us, fair madam, for our rude transgression, some fair excuse.
The fairest is confession. Were you not here, but even now disguised?
Madam, I was.
And were you well advised?
I was, dear madam.
And when you went here, what did you whisper in your lady's ear?
That more than all the world I did respect her.
When she shall challenge this, you will reject her.
Upon mine honour, no.
Peace, forbear. Your oath once broke, you force not to forswear.
Despise me when I break this oath of mine.
I will, and therefore keep it. Rosaline! What did the Russian whisper in your ear?
Madam, he swore that he did hold me dear as precious eyesight, and value me above the world, adding thereto moreover, that he would wed me, or else die, my love.
Oh, God, give me joy of him! The noble lord most honourably does uphold his word.
Mean you, madam, by my life, my troth, I never swore this lady such an oath.
By heavens, you did! And to confirm it plain, you gave me this. But take it back again.
My faith, and this the princess I did give. I knew her by this jewel on her sleeve.
Pardon me, sir, this jewel did she wear, and Lord Berowne, I thank him, is my dear. What? Will you have me? Or your pearl again?
Neither of either. I remit both twain. I see the trick, Hunt. Here was a consent, knowing aforehand of our merriment, to dash it like a Christmas comedy. Some carry tale, some please man, some slight zany, some mumble news, some trencher night, some dick that wears his cheek with age, knowing the trick to make my lady laugh when she's disposed. Told our intents before, and once disclosed, the ladies did change favours, and then we, following the signs, wooed but the sign of she. Now to our perjury. To add more terror, we are again forsworn, in will and error. Much upon this 'tis. And might not you forestall our sport, making us all untrue? Do not you know my lady's foot by the squire, and laugh upon the apple of her eye, and stand between her back, sir, and the fire, holding a trencher, jesting merrily? You put our page out. Go! You are allowed. Die when you will. A smock shall be your shroud. Oh, you leer upon me, do you? There's an eye wounds like a leaden sword. Oh, welcome, pure wit, thou part'st a fair fray.
Oh, Lord, sir, they would know whether the three worthies shall come in or no.
What, are there but three?
No, sir, but it is very fine. For every one person's three.
And 3 times thrice is 9.
Not so, sir. Under correction, sir, I hope it is not so. You cannot beg us, sir. I can assure you, sir, we know what we know. I hope, sir.
3
times thrice, sir.
Is not 9.
Under correction, sir. We know whereuntil it doth amount.
Oh, by Jove, I always took 3 threes for 9.
Oh, Lord, sir. It were a pity you should get your living by reckoning, sir.
How much is it then?
Oh, Lord, sir. The parties themselves, the actors, sir, will show whereuntil it doth amount. For mine own part, I am, as they say, but to perfect one man in one poor man, Pompey the Great, sir.
Art thou one of the worthies?
It pleased them to think me worthy of Pompey the Great. For mine own part, I know not the degree of the worthy, but I am to stand for him.
Go, bid them prepare.
Berowne!
We will turn it finely off, sir. We will take some care.
They will shame us. Let them not approach.
We are shame-proof, my lord, and 'tis some policy to have one show worse than the king and his company.
I say they shall not come.
Nay, my good lord, let me overrule you now. That sport best pleases, that doth least know how. Where zeal strives to contents, and the contents die in the zeal of that which it presents. Their form confounded makes most form in mirth. Where great things labouring perish in their birth.
Oh, right description of our sport, my lord.
Anointed, I implore so much expense of thy royal sweet breath as will utter abrasive words.
Doth this man serve God?
Why ask you?
He speaks not like a man of God's making.
That's all one, my fair, sweet honey monarch. For I protest the schoolmaster is exceeding fantastical. Too vain. Too vain. But we will put it, as they say, to fortuna della guar. I wish you the peace of mind. Most royal compliment.
Well, here we like to have a good presence of worthies. He plays Hector, the swain, Pompey the Great, the parish curate, Alexander, Armado's page, Hercules, the pedant, Judas Maccabeus. And if these 4 worthies in their first performance thrive, these 4 will change habits and present the other 5.
There is 5 in the first show.
You're deceived, it is not so.
The pedant, the braggart, the hedge priest, the fool, and the boy. A bait thrower novum. In all the world again you shan't find 5 such. Take each one in's vain.
I, Pompey, am.
You lie! You are not he!
I, Pompey, am Pompey, surnamed the Big.
The Great.
Oh, it is great, sir. Pompey, surnamed the Great. That oft in field with targe and shield did make my foe to sweat. And travelling along this coast, I here am come by chance, and lay my arms before the legs of this sweet lass of France. If your ladyship would say thanks to Pompey, I had done.
Great thanks, great Pompey.
It is not so much worth, but I hope I was perfect. I made a little fault in great.
Buy a hat to a halfpenny. Pompey proves the best worthy. Oh.
When in the world I lived, I was the world's commander. By east, west, north and south, I spread my conquering might. My scutcheon plain declares that I am Alexander.
Your nose smells no in this sweet-smelling night.
The conqueror is dismayed. Proceed, good Alexander.
When in the world I lived, I was the world's commander.
Pompey the Great,
Your servant and Costard.
take away the conqueror, take away Alexander.
Oh, sir, you have overthrown Alexander the Conqueror. You will be scrapped out of the painted cloth for this. Your lion that holds his poleaxe sitting on a close stool will be given to Ajax. He will be the 9th worthy. A conqueror and afraid to speak. Oh, run away for shame, Alexander.
Oh.
Thereat shall please you. A foolish, mild man, an honest man, look you, and soon dashed. He is a marvellous good neighbour, and a very good bowler, but for Alexander, alas, you see how 'tis a little all parted. But there are worthies a-coming, will speak their mind in some other sort.
Stand aside, good Pompey.
Great Hercules is presented by this imp, whose club killed Cerberus, that three-headed Canus, and when he was a babe, a child, a shrimp, thus did he strangle serpents in his bodies. Quoniam, he seemeth in minority, therefore I come with an apology. Keep some state in thy exit and vanish. Judas I am.
Judas?
What? Judas, not Judas Iscariot, sir. Judas eclipsed Maccabeus.
Judas Maccabeus clipped is plain Judas.
Oh, kissing traitor! How prove you, Judas?
Judas I am.
The more shame for you, Judas.
What mean you, sir?
To make Judas hang himself.
Begin, sir. You are my elder.
Ah, well followed. Judas was hanged on an elder.
I will not be put out of countenance.
Because thou has no face?
What is this?
The head of a bodkin.
Death's face and a ring.
The face of an old Roman crown scarce seen.
The pommel of Caesar's falchion.
A carved bone face on a flask.
St. George's half cheek in a brooch.
Iron in a brooch of lead.
I worn in the cap of a tooth drawer. And go forwards, for we have put thee in countenance.
You have put me out of countenance.
Fools, for we have given thee faces.
But you have outfaced them all.
And thou wert a lion, we should do so.
Therefore, as he is an ass, let him go. Adieu, sweet Jude. Nay, why dost thou stay?
For the ass to the Jude, give it him. Sweet Jude ass, away.
This is not gentle, not generous, not humble.
A light for Monsieur Judas. It grows dark. He may stumble.
Alas, poor Maccabeus, how hath he been baited?
Oh, hide thy head, Achilles. Here comes Hector in arms.
Though my mocks come home by me, I will now be merry.
Hector was but at Trojan in respect of this.
Is this Hector?
No, I think Hector was not so clean-tempered.
His leg is too big for Hector.
Walk off, certain.
No, he's best endowed in the small.
This cannot be Hector.
He's a god or a painter, for he makes faces.
The omnipotent Mars of Launces the Almighty gave Hector a gift.
A gilt nutmeg.
11!
Stuck with cloves.
No cloven.
Peace! The omnipotent Mars of Launces the Almighty gave Hector a gift.
That
The
means
heir of Ilion, a man so breathed that certain he would fight. Yea, from morn till night, out of his pavilion, I am that flower.
That Columbine.
Sweet Lord Longaville, rein thy tongue.
I must rather give it rain, for it runs against Hector.
and Hector's a greyhound.
The sweet war man's dead and rotten. Sweet Chuck, speak not the bones of the buried. But I will forward my device. Sweet royalty, bestow on me the sense of hearing.
Speak, brave Hector.
Oh,
We
how I
are
do.
much delighted.
Oh, I do adore thy sweet grace's slipper.
Loves her by the foot.
And he comes by a yard.
This Hector far surmounted Hannibal. The party is gone.
Fellow Hector, she is gone.
What meanest thou?
Faith, unless you play the honest Troyan, the poor wench is cast away. She's quick. The child brags in her belly already. 'Tis yours.
Dost thou infaminize me among potentates? Thou shalt die.
Then shall Hector be whipped for Jaquenetta that is quick by him, and hanged for Pompey that is dead by him.
Oh, most rare Pompey.
Renowned Pompey.
Oh, greater than great Pompey. Pompey the huge.
Hector trembles.
Pompey is incensed. Moratti, stir them on.
Hector will challenge him.
Aye, if he has no little blood in his belly, then will supper flee.
By the North Pole, I do challenge thee.
I will not fight with a pole like a northern man. I'll slash. I'll do it by the sword. I pray you. Let me borrow my arms again.
Room for the incensed worthies.
I'll do it in my shirt.
Most resolute Pompey.
Master, let me take you a buttonhole lower. Do you not see Pompey is unpacing for the combat? What mean you? You will lose your reputation.
Gentlemen and soldiers, pardon me. I will not combat in my shirt.
Why dost thou say so?
You may not deny it, for Hector hath made the challenge.
Sweet blood, I both may and will. The naked truth of it is, I have no shirt. I go woolward for penance.
God save you, madam.
Welcome, Whyte, but that thou interruptest our merriment.
I am sorry, madam, for the news I bring is heavy in my tongue. The king, your father,
Dead. For thy life.
even so. My tale is told.
Worthies, away, the scene begins to cloud.
How fares your majesty?
Whyte, prepare, I will away tonight.
Not so, dear madam.
Prepare,
I beseech you
I say.
stay.
Prepare. I thank you, gracious lords, for all your fair endeavours and entreats. Out of a new, sad soul, that you vouchsafe in your rich wisdom to excuse or hide the liberal opposition of our spirits. If over boldly we have borne ourselves in the converse of breath, your gentleness was guilty of it. Farewell, worthy lord. A heavy heart bears not a nimble tongue. Forgive me coming so short of thanks for my great suit so easily obtained.
The extreme parts of time extremely forms all causes to the purpose of his speed, and often at his very loose decides that which long process could not arbitrate. And though the morning brow of progeny forbids the smiling courtesy of love, the holy suit which fain it would convince, yet since love's argument was first on foot, let not the cloud of sorrow jostle it from what it purposed. For to wail friends lost is not by much so wholesome profitable as to rejoice in friends but newly found.
I understand you not, my griefs are double.
Honest, plain words best pierce the ear of grief. And by these badges understand the king. For your fair sake selves we have neglected time, played foul play with our oaths. Your beauty, ladies, hath much deformed us, fashioning our humours even to the opposite ends of our intents. And what in us hath seemed ridiculous, for love is full of unbecoming strains, as wanton as a child, horse-skipping and vain, of the eye, and therefore like the eye, full of straying shapes of habits and of forms, that varying subjects as the eye doth roll from every varied object in its glance. What party-coated presence of loose love put on by us in your heavenly eyes have misbecomed our oaths and gravities. Those heavenly eyes that look into these faults suggested us to make. Therefore, ladies, our loves being yours, the error that love makes is also yours. We to ourselves prove false by being once false, forever to be true to those who made us both. Sweet ladies, you. And even that falsehood, in itself a sin, thus purifies itself and turns to grace.
We have received your letters full of love, your favours the ambassadors of love, and in our maiden council rated them at courtship, pleasant jest, and courtesy as bombast, and as lining to the time. But more devout than these are our respects. Have we not been, and therefore met your loves in their own fashion, like a merriment?
Our letters, madam, showed much more than jest.
So did our looks.
We did not quote them so.
Now, at the latest minute of the hour, grant us your loves.
The time methinks too short to make a world without end bargaining. No, my lord, your grace is perjured much, full of dear guiltiness. And therefore this, if for my love, as there is no such cause, you will do aught, this will you do for me. Your oath I will not trust, but go with speed to some forlorn and naked hermitage, remote from all the pleasures of the world. There stay, until the 12 celestial signs have brought about their annual reckoning. If frosts and fasts, hard lodging and thin weeds nip not the gaudy blossoms of your love, but that it bear this trial and last love. Then at the expiration of a year, come challenge me. Challenge me by these deserts. And by this virgin palm, now kissing thine, I will be thine. Until that moment shut my woeful self up in a mourning house, raining the tears of lamentation for my father's death. If this thou do deny, let our hands part, neither entitled in the other's heart.
This, or more than this, I would deny to flatter up these powers of mine with rest. The sudden hand of death close up mine eye. Hence, hermit, Ben. My heart is in my breast.
But what of me, my love? What of me?
A wife, a beard, fair health and honesty. With threefold love, I wish you all these three.
Oh, shall I say then, thank you, gentle wife?
Not so, my lord. A 12-month and a day. I'll mark no words that smooth-faced wooers say. Come when the king doth to my lady come. Then, if I have some love, I'll give you some.
I'll serve thee true and faithfully, till then.
Yet swear not, lest you be forsworn again.
What says Maria?
At the 12 months' end, I'll change my gown of black for a faithful friend.
I'll stay with patience, for the time is long.
The like a youth, you taller are so young.
Studies, lady? Mistress, look on me. Behold the window of my heart, mine eye. What humble suit attends thy answer there? Impose on me some service for my love.
Oft I had heard of you, my lord Berowne, before I saw you. The world's large tongue proclaims you for a man replete with mocks, full of comparisons and wounding flouts, which you, on all accounts, will execute, that lie within the mercy of your wit. To weed this wormwood from your brain, and therewithal to win me, if you please, without the which I am not to be won. You shall this 12-month term from day to day visit the speechless stick, and still converse with groaning wretches. And your task shall be with all the fierce endeavour of your wits, to enforce the pained impotence to smile.
To move wild laughter in the throat of death. It cannot be, it is impossible. Mirth cannot move a soul in agony.
Why, that's the way to choke a jibing spirit, whose influence is begot of that loose grace, which laughing hearers give to fools. A jest prosperity lies in the ear of him that hears it, never in the tongue of him that makes it. Then, if sickly ears shall hear your idle scorns, continue then, and I will have you, and that fault withal. But they will not throw away that spirit, and I shall find you empty of that fault, right joyful of your reformation.
A 12-month. Well, befall what will befall. I'll jest a 12-month in a hospital.
I sweet my lord, so I take my leave.
No, madam, we will bring you on the way.
Our wooing doth not end like an old play. Jack hath not Jill. These ladies' courtesy might well have made our sport a comedy.
Come, sir. It wants a 12-month and a day, and then 'twill end.
That's too long for a play. You, that way. We, this way.